I'm Adam, and this is my first of many videos on the brand new, fully redesigned 2020 Ford Explorer. In today's video, I'm going to go over a couple of facts and figures about the new Explorer, and I'm going to give you guys my first impressions of this Explorer. I've had a little bit of time to kind of sit in it, kind of see the redesign, and I've also had a chance to drive it a little bit. And honestly, I'm deeply impressed by this new Explorer. So I wanted to go over that and then check back later in the week, and we'll start to do some more in-depth dive videos. I am going to start as usual with a little walk around and let you guys just kind of take it all in. As I mentioned, this is a fully redesigned, so they didn't change anything from the last one. They just made a brand new one from the ground up. That means a whole new exterior, a whole new interior, and a lot of new features that you guys will be very excited to learn about. We're going to start with a little bit of history. It starts back in 1991. That is the year that Ford rolled out its first Explorer, and this came out as a 4-door SUV, and then a little bit later you could also do a 2-door Ford Explorer Sport. The top of the trim line back then was the Eddie Bauer edition. The next redesign came 4 years later in 1995 when Ford went with a little bit more of a rounded aerodynamic design, and then 1 year later in 96, that is when Ford rolled out their first 215 horsepower V8 engine. When they rolled out that 215 horsepower V8 engine, that was a 5.0 liter. What a major difference between today's 5.0 liter V8 that's most famous in the Ford Mustang GT. In the Mustang, it puts out over 400 horsepower compared to the 215 of 1996. Our next major redesign comes in 2002 when the Explorer gets a wider and longer wheelbase. In addition, it also got the first rear independent suspension, which gave it dramatic improvements in ride quality and handling. Ford also, in 2002, offered the Explorer as one of the first in-segment 3-row SUVs. 2006 brought another major redesign, and we saw the addition of features like power folding third row, and then a few years later we also got some nice advanced features like trailer sway control and a lot of new trailering technology for the Explorer. That brings us up to the final redesign that you guys are probably familiar with, and that is the 2011 redesign. So Ford kept the same body style from 2011 up until 2019. These are the Explorers that you'll probably most likely see on the road today. They feature the more rounded front end design, and the taillights have changed a little bit, but the Explorer has not undergone a full redesign like this one since 2011. So this is a major upgrade. And now for the 2020 Ford Explorer, they've done a couple major things as well. Besides the full interior and exterior redesign, Ford has also moved this SUV to a rear-wheel drive platform, which is amazing, and it gives you a ton of benefits in things like towing, handling, performance, and interior space. In case you guys were wondering, the Explorer does have some competition. It's the Chevy Traverse, the Honda Pilot, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, also the Toyota Highlander competes with this SUV. You guys will be happy to know, although, that the Ford Explorer is the #1 selling SUV in America in that segment, so it beats all of the competition in sales. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about the seating. So this Explorer does feature the third row seating, and it's a 50-50 bench split. So that means you've got 2 seats in the third row, and it gives you a total seating capacity of 7 people. The Highlander, the Traverse, and the Pilot all offer 3 seats in the back in the third row, but if you've ever owned one of those vehicles or simply ridden in them, you know that no normal-sized human being can ride 3 wide in the third row. It's impossible, it's cramped, and there's no legroom or headroom. And the last bit of competition, the Grand Cherokee, doesn't even offer a third row, so frankly, there's no competition there for seating. Next, I want to talk about powertrain options. So the 2020 Explorer has brought you a bunch of new availability. It actually offers for the first time ever a limited hybrid powertrain, which is amazing for advanced fuel economy. And then we also do offer for the first time the ST line from Ford's performance team. So you can either go with the normal engines, the economy, with the hybrid, or you can even go to a high performance line. The Jeep Grand Cherokee only offers high performance. They don't do any kind of hybrid models. And the Highlander only offers hybrid. They don't do any kind of high performance. In terms of the Traverse and the Pilot, they don't offer anything. They don't offer you hybrid or high performance options. So once again, the 2020 Explorer takes the lead. One of the other areas that the Explorer really takes the competition is in their blind spot technology. So through Ford, this is called BLIS, B-L-I-S, Blind Spot Information Systems. And one of the things that Ford is able to do is when you get a trailering package, you can actually set up your BLIS monitoring system to include your trailer. This is not available on things like the Jeep Grand Cherokee or the Toyota Highlander, the other big towing SUVs. They don't offer it. They have their own blind spot monitoring system, but when you have a big trailer, if you're pulling a boat or horses, anything like that, the Ford Explorer's blind spot monitoring system can actually include your trailer. That way you don't have blind spots on your SUV or on your trailer. This is a huge advancement in terms of safety and towing capabilities. Continuing on in terms of safety advancements, I also do want to point out two other features that I find to be pretty awesome on the new 2020 Explorer that the competition just simply does not offer. This is rear brake assist. So if you're backing up and your Explorer senses that you're going to hit something because for whatever reason you're not stopping, it will automatically apply the brakes for you before you back into that car or the wall or the sign behind your Explorer. The competition, the Highlander and the Jeep Grand Cherokee, as I mentioned, they don't even offer this kind of technology. And the other most advanced safety system, this is a brand new system that Ford has rolled out, and I think it's just incredible. And this is their evasive steering assist. So I've mentioned it in some previous videos on the new Ford Edge ST. I kind of gave a small demonstration of it, but put simply, if you're driving and you don't apply the brakes and your Explorer senses that you're gonna hit the car in front of you, it will use the sensors all around the SUV to make sure that it's safe. And when it's safe, the Explorer will actually swerve out of the way for you if it senses an impending crash. That is some advanced safety technology, and that will surely save a lot of people. All right, I've inundated you guys with facts and figures so far. Now I do want to move on to the portion of my first impressions. So I do want to start out by saying I think this new Explorer body style is just incredible. I love the wide stance, the way that they've elongated the wheelbase. They've really made some great advancements in terms of interior room as well. Some of my first impressions as far as when I got inside is the new steering wheel is amazing. It does have quite a few buttons on it, but they're all very ergonomic, very easy to use, and well labeled. That's important when you have a brand new SUV. Additionally, I've noticed that I love the way the new switches are in here. They're all this aluminum trim. They have this kind of grippy design on them that just looks excellent. In addition, we have a new gauge cluster with the center screen. I love the fact that they've split the gauges and put the digital screen in the middle. You can also do a 12.3-inch fully LCD customizable gauge display, which is beautiful. And they have all new graphics, all new colors. It's just perfect. Moving towards the center of the vehicle, they do have two new screens that you have options for. They have their regular touch screen, which is new, and it's kind of this floating design. It has some storage down below. Perfect place to put your phone if you don't want to use the new wireless charging pad. I really love the way that they've laid out the AC controls as well. It's a very simple design. They've moved a lot of needless features into the screen. That way you don't have dedicated buttons that you're not necessarily using. They've really gone for this very clean look, and it gives you a lot of interior room as far as the center console goes, and storage and connectivity as well. We still do have the rotary dial shifter, which I'm a big fan of. They have included some new buttons. They've put the new parking brake switches and auto hold and things like that. And then down below that in the center console, you'll also notice we do have new drive control buttons. We have our auto start stop off button, and they even switched the traction control button to look like a little wheel throwing some dirt, which is pretty cool. It looks a lot better than just saying traction control off or things like that. Since I have had the option to drive the Explorer, I am just blown away by it. I can immediately tell that this thing rides and drives way better than the previous years. With that 6 extra inches in the wheelbase, you have a much better ride quality improvement. Going over bumps, it just soaks them up, no problem. In addition, with that new rear-wheel drive platform, instead of having kind of a sagging feeling or a thing like that, when you're taking off from a stoplight, it really is able to pick the weight of this vehicle up and get you off the line, no problem. You don't have to put a lot of effort into it, so you never have to choose between going into a bigger engine or things like that. This Explorer comes with a very well-powered standard engine now, and I think that's excellent. In addition, that new engine is paired to the standard 10-speed automatic transmission, so we know that it always can find the right gear to give you the right power and the right torque. I'm just very impressed by everything this new Explorer has to offer. And that's not to say that I am just automatically impressed by it. I consider myself to be a pretty harsh critic. There are a lot of vehicles that I do like better than necessarily the old body style Explorers, but I think that Ford has made a huge jump in the advancement of this Explorer. In addition, one of the things that I found most surprising, but also most exciting, is that Ford offers their connectivity down here in the center console with the USB and things like that. They have now integrated a USB-C port, which is just really great forward thinking. USB-C is a newer technology still. It's really coming to the market right now in terms of cell phones and laptops and things like that. And the fact that Ford was smart enough to integrate a USB-C port straight into the new Explorer just shows that they pay a lot of attention to detail and they're really committed to the new technology. All right, I could go on for hours explaining all the things that I love about this brand new Explorer, but you'll just have to stop in and see it in person. I'm sure you'll be impressed. When you're ready, stop by and visit us here at Jack Schmitt Ford in Collinsville. We're at 1820 Vandalia Street, or you can stop and visit us online at jackschmittford.com. We do have some photos up of the new Explorers, but I would highly recommend you come and see them in person to get the full impact of this amazing redesign.